live stream in the world of Vera. I am joined today by three of our absolutely awesome developers. We have with us two regulars and one new face. One of our engineers, obviously our glorious engineers, Keenan. How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Okay, for some reason, the stream wanted to start up weird. So, anyways, I thought, I haven't done one of these reaction videos to Ashes of Creation um, in a while, and they've done quite a bit of new content. They got quite a bit of new content that I haven't really covered, but um, I thought it would be worth looking into some of this.
Good. Thanks for asking.
Welcome, sir. Welcome back. It was just, let's see, last time you were on was for the tank, I believe the tank showcase, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, and then we also have, I think, as well.
You can see they're really showing off the Unreal Engine 5 improvements. You know how Unreal Engine 5 really allows you to create just really nice looking worlds. And you can see the volumetric lighting as it comes through the pillars here. You notice that the hotbars, I'm assuming that these are... there was another video I watched by Lazy PM where he was talking about the the UI, how it looks like it can be customizable. But I like the aesthetic. I like the simplicity of it. But I would, instead of it saying Shift 1, I would prefer that just to say like SH1. I don't like text covering that much of my hotbars if possible. So that would be a nice improvement, is to just for like Shift and Control keys, just to maybe abbreviate those. That would be nice. Because a lot of people use for keybinds, like I do, a lot of people use Shift and Control as modifiers. So, Control 1 could be like CTRL 1, and Shift 1 could be just SH1, or even S+1. I think we all know what that means pretty much. I like the icons. I think the iconography, that's a hard word to say, isn't it? Iconography of the abilities and spells in Ashes is really good. One thing that I mentioned this before, but I absolutely love the minimap. I think the minimap is fantastic. I like how it's a lot more just a map and not like it doesn't try to like show like colors. It's just a grayscale, but it really shows the layout. I just really like it. I think it's really cool. Hopefully that's scalable. It looks like it is. You can see the plus and minus, so that's zooming in out, but hopefully we can scale the size. The mini map as well.
Showcase one of our senior designers, Mr. Trad. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Hello, everyone. Good to see everyone again.
And then we have a new face with us, one of our senior visual effects artists, Mr. John. How you doing?
I'm doing really well, man. This is fun.
Yeah, this is fun. This is your first time on, right?
Yes, it is.
And you have been doing a lot of work on the visual effects side, and today I know many in our audience have been anticipating this early work in progress look at the Alpha 2 Mage, and we have, I'm sure already, the chat is ecstatic looking at the hotbars of abilities that we're going to be looking at today. We're not going to go through all of them, but we are going to go through I believe the electrical spells, some of the utilities, and some of
I don't know why they don't go. It's like, don't show us all the abilities in the bars, but then not go through them.
the frost abilities, right, Trap?
That's right. Yeah, we're going to be looking at a bit of an ice lightning mage. This will not be the only elements that you'll see on the mage, but that's what we're going to be focused on today. And just specifically some interactions between those elements and showing off how the elements can be used together to create synergies.
Yes, and I know we've been talking about this obviously for a good amount of time, and the way that kind of the class kits synergize and work together, and you guys saw a little bit of that with the tank demonstration between, I believe two abilities had like a staggered to a knockdown promotion. Is that right, Trent?
That's correct. Yeah, we're going to be diving a little bit deeper into that kind of stuff. You'll see probably 3 or 4 different interactions within this kit, and that's just the start of it.
Cool. Now, we are in the Riverlands, of course, but we are... Where are we right now? I think we're at the... this is like a... what is this place called? This is the Hall of Judication, which is was an Aelan, I guess, prison slash trial location that they, in our previous showcases, we've tended to kind of...
I don't really care about the lore too much right now. I can
showcase a little bit more gameplay oriented kind of walkthroughs of zones.
Whatever whatever you want it to be, and we'll showcase some kind of that. We'll showcase that kind of gameplay and actual action once we get to the.
Excuse me. They still have this like purplish, darkish looking smoke, which I'm not a fan of. I don't think. I don't know. It's not awful, but it's not my favorite colors to use, and it doesn't look
I mean, you
as fantasy to me as
covered it there. It's a gap opener.
like this big, huge. I mean, I guess I guess it's feasible that that's what it would look like, of course, but I don't know.
Gap close.
I wouldn't have got. I mean, these like purplish looking smoke. I'm not really a fan of that color choice. I would prefer more of just a natural, like kind of smoky, white and maybe gray, and maybe with some little sparkles of gold light, little sprinkles of gold dust kind of floating around as you
Those are whatever you want it to be, and we'll showcase some kind of that. We'll showcase that kind of gameplay and actual action once we get to the encounter section of this.
Let me show the shield. Speaking of a combat mage, if you're in the middle of fighting, talk to me a little bit about the shell.
Yeah, this is a pretty classic mage spell that you've probably seen before. It's just a big health shield. It absorbs a bunch of damage, and it has a duration, so usually you want to time it with when you're going to anticipate taking a bunch of damage at once. And we'll show that off too in a little bit with some of our rotations that put the mage in a little bit more danger for greater payoff.
And this is kind of a short duration shell. Now, obviously, duration excuse me, can be one of the parameters that are augmented by some of our augment abilities, so it could be potentially extended by an augment in the future, but it's essentially short duration for those temporary hit points. Is that right? Kind of like if you're stuck in a little bit of a bind.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the point of the duration. Like usually these health shields can be pretty strong, and so timing that is part of
Dynamically generated. We want them to interact with the world. We want them to feel like they are part of the combat. So when we come to wanting to work with something like lightning, we actually want it to seek out different things in the world and stick to them. We want it to feel like you are actually in control of that lightning, not just plastered on top. So what we've been working on are kind of behavior systems where you model the behavior of the lightning and how it should work, and then those systems.
That's pretty cool, is how it went down the steps and you can see it moving.
Get put into our effects, and you get a very.
They do seem to like a lot of the spherical stuff. You've got a ball lighting with a big sphere around it. You got the shield, which is obviously a big sphere. You've got the teleport, which is a big sphere opening up that you go through, and
consistent, repetitive, not repetitive in like its motion, but how it behaves, result from it.
Yeah, I think it looks great. I love this ability too, and when we get into combat, you guys will see kind of its.
It rains projectiles down that deal damage, but also does a fairly frequent burst that applies shield stacks. It also has a little bit of mobility into it, which
again, I'm not. I've mentioned this before. I'm not a fan of these characters floating up in the air and like levitating. Well, I mean, it's kind of nice that you can move while casting, but why is he floating in the air? That's just kind of weird to me.
It's something we talked about quite a bit. We felt that it was important to maintain some.
I mean, as a gameplay mechanic, I could see where. I mean, think about this. Think about you're in a dungeon and there's like think about you're in like World of Warcraft and you're in like LVRS and there's like these big underground walkways that maybe there's a hole in a bridge and you can't cross the bridge because there's an opening gap. Well, this mage probably could just cast Blizzard and levitate over that gap.
Control over this ability, even though it's very powerful, just to give players that maximal sense of agency as they are destroying the battlefield.
Oh yeah. I mean, I love the visuals here as well, John. The decals on the ground with the frost and the impacting ice shards. Now, talk to me a little bit about kind of how you create from a visual effects perspective these individual elements and their reusability.
You are so very good at, Keenan.
Effects perspective, these individual elements and their reusability.
One of the things that's really good about working here is that we are involved very early on, and we can look at the things that are going to be challenging from what design and the engineering team want to build from an effects perspective, and then inform them on those things. And when we want really cool,
I still find there to be, like, from a color point of view and an aesthetic point of view, I still find the overall feeling of the game to be not as cohesive as it could be. You see some, uh, eh, maybe it is cohesive. Maybe it's just because I'm not used to seeing a game that has grass that's this. I mean, this is pretty vibrant grass. We also have a lot of plants that it's very colorful. The world of Ashes of Creation is a very colorful world. They like color. It's a very contrasty world, and which I like. I actually like that. But in a way, you kind of miss that kind of dank, dark, medieval feel to the world. It feels more like we're going into Alice in Wonderland because it is, yeah, it is very colorful. I'm not going to say it's bad because I do like color, but when you watch a lot of these videos on Ashes, you do notice that.
frost
doing,
zones
Ross?
all over very uneven terrain that they build out like cool displacements in the ground. There's not a button for that. We have to go and work.
And I've never been real happy with the way their foliage moves. I've said this so many times, where a lot of times their foliage looks like it's underwater. It moves as if we're looking at grass that's being moved by waves underwater.
Really closely with tech art and figure that stuff out. And then how do you make sure that the particle systems can drive those decals and they can be animated? So being part of that process very early on, working with the concept team to identify what the challenges are going to be, and then really being able to communicate with those teams about how to accomplish it.
Called Cone of Cold. Talk to me a little bit, Trad, about Cone of Cold.
Yep, ice spells have a tendency to.
And I'm not, like, I hate to be picky, but that's just my nature. Not really a fan of these spikes on the ground. Like, I don't know.
Be complicated. This is
Like, it's just not very like they're trying to make it almost look like icy, almost like snowflakes. You saw it with the blizzard as well. How when the ice starts hitting the ground, it was creating these almost like it's freezing the ground. And these are like, if you think about like if you look at like a time lapse of a lake being frozen into ice, how it'll slowly, the ice will form, and you'll see these kind of lines going through the water as it's freezing. And I think they're kind of going for that kind of a look. I do like the mist coming from the cone of cold. Very cool. But these big spikes and all this, I think this looks kind of silly, to be honest. Hey, what's up, Liz Olsen? Just doing. I have to jump in the shower probably in about 40 minutes. So I got about 40 minutes to kill. And I thought I'd just look at this latest Ashes of Creation video where they're talking about the mage archetype. I was just talking about how the particle effects for a game for using Unreal Engine 5, I think that these could look better. I think the
I
ball
will
of
say this is one of my favorite spells, just to use not only
the ball of lightning looks pretty
visually,
decent.
but like
This one.
for reasons you'll see later. But like it's a zoning tool. It's like a mobile zoning tool. It's great for applying status effects because it's hitting very rapidly. There's lots of different ways you can use this thing to your advantage.
Yep.
So I was just talking about this one. Well, it could be. I mean, I think these visuals are pretty clear and easy to see, which is good. But I think like this Blizzard here, it's interesting that when you're casting Blizzard, you're literally levitating off the ground. And you can move. Like, this guy's able to move his character around while he's levitating off the ground casting Blizzard, which is to me not very realistic, but I can see where there would be benefits. I was just saying that you could cast this spell to like levitate over gaps in a bridge, or to basically move over areas that aren't areas of empty space. So, but I'm not a fan of the visuals here. Like, it's this kind of weird looking. It looks like snowflakes on the ground. It's okay.
That is definitely one of the things that you are so very good at, Keenan. You take like.
If you want to look at like special effects that I think look really good, I'd have to go with Overwatch. Like, I really like what is the one Overwatch character that does ice? What's her name? Overwatch. May.
Our work worth fighting for.
See, now this just gives you like kind of like what you expect the mage's cone of cold. You know, it's very simple. Frost, right? But look at the frost on the ground and the frost on the character, how she's frozen. I mean, it's very simple, just some blue with some lines. It's not super complicated, but it's very easy to see, and it conveys what we're. I wonder how old this video is. Yeah, there is a skin pack for Turtle WoW for the Legion models. I think I've installed it, and I don't really like it. Like, if you could install the skin pack for for Legion without it installing the character models, because the problem is the character models in Legion for like the Night Elves look like crap. But the models for the world, like the updates for the world, look pretty decent. And I might not be remembering it. Let's see. Like, this is more like what I was thinking you could do for the ground. Just a simple, like, bluish with some lines. And I think that... Where's the, Here's the ice wall she's going to drop, right? But see these, like, icy lines on the ground? That's kind of more of what I was thinking for, like, the blizzard. Like, anyways, whatever. I mean, it actually doesn't look as good in Overwatch as I thought it did. It's been a long time since I've looked at Overwatch.
Whatever.
Is that there are it's called chilled.
But yeah, the environments look better for sure, but I don't like the character models. That's the only reason I'm not using it. As I have installed it before. I have installed it also, and I just don't like the way the character models look.
It does as you would probably
And see, this to me looks a little. I don't know. It looks a little
expect.
weird.
It slows the target, and it can stack for an increasing amount of slow per stack you put on them. But if you might notice that there are some little crystals that it leaves on the ground there, and each one of those is a proximity ice mine that if someone steps on, it will explode and apply additional stacks and damage. So it's really good at creating area denial between.
Okay, so that's pretty cool. So now that I understand that those little ice crystals actually have a reason for being there, then it doesn't bother me so much. So that's cool.
And that just triggers a bunch of damage
Lightning strike?
there. But like in that very last frame, you'll see that he hit him with a lightning effect, which triggers the Shadis.
Frostbolt?
It's not even a condition, it's just a reaction. And that just triggers a bunch of damage. So that's a good way to get your burst damage if you're rotating your spells and your elements the correct way.
Yeah, that's super cool. Very cool.
Pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that particular interaction is by far my favorite thing about this mage.
Yeah, this is the Astral Creation Mage,
Yeah,
like
I
Alpha
the,
2 Mage.
the ability for a spellcaster or just any player with their archetype, having the option to kind of weave in between those rotations and those spells, and to create successful combinations within their kit that you amplify the DPS or the status conditions or
Steven likes to talk, doesn't he? He likes to talk. So I mean, it looks okay. I mean, the mage preview, I mean, it looks all right. I mean, nothing looks like amazing, but I think the gameplay looks like the way you can, like, you know, obviously chain certain spells together to do more damage looks pretty cool. So. Yeah, but I got to go. I have to go to my wife's, the mother, the in-laws today. This is Dragon's Dogma Online. Private server. I'm actually running this locally on my machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't quite figured out how to play it yet. I just installed this yesterday. I'm excited for Dragon's Dogma 2. You know, that it's in development. Hopefully we'll see that next year. Hopefully. It was weird when I created this character, it put me in like what looked like a starter area, but now that I'm coming back into the server, it's trying to put me in different locations, which is weird. Now I'm back in another city. Nice music though. Like some sort of a portal crystal. Fast travel. Yeah, but when I'm in like the town, like none of my attack abilities seem to be available to me. It's so weird because I created this character yesterday. When I created this character, it started me in an area where I could actually do combat. Let's try let's try this. I played Dragon's Dogma, but I've never played the online version. So let's go create. There's a ton of hair. There's like 100 hairstyles. You know, that's a lot of hairstyles. Pink. Hunter. The priest. Attracts attention, converts the power of their enemies into magic of the 5 elements. The fortress of the battlefield. Balances offense and defense, can use their shield to counterattack. The leader of the battlefield. Yeah, I got to go to my wife's. It's Mother's Day, so we're going to my wife's mom's house today because we have to give her like her Mother's Day gift, and so I'll probably will be gone for quite a while. But I'll be streaming later tonight. Now this is medieval. These guys look vicious. Not a happy dude. They certainly like to dual wield their weapons. They certainly like a lot of dual wield. Alright, here we go. I have no idea if there's any enemies or not. Looks cool though, doesn't it? I love the very medieval, like gritty, very like old school fantasy. This is the way I like MMOs to look. Like this is like castles and grimy and dirty, and you know, it's my preferred look for MMOs. I don't know if there's a run key. Okay, so there's like some sort of a shield block. This is strong guard. Not sure what that is. It's a linking throw. Shield spike. Yeah, so I think there's a way with this private server to actually summon mobs to your location. So far we seem to have a private server with no enemies. Yeah, I think that's what we got.
You're going to just hit download. You're going to hit escape, or you're going to hit start, whatever you need to open up the menu. We're going to exit game, return to title. We're going to go back to game start. And then we can look at a character. There are 2 places you can go. White Dragon Temple is just where I go.
Why are they infighting? What's going on, Chupacabra?
I don't know how the layout of the fortress city is, so I'm just going to use White Dragon as the best example. I'd suggest going to White Dragon if you want to continue following this tutorial after that way. That will lead directly outside the White Dragon Temple. But for those who want some bonus little tips and tricks here and there, go ahead and stick around. So right now we're going to talk about NPCs and the current biggest bug that's in the game right now, in my personal opinion. So the NPC right behind me here is Owen. Owen is an asshole. If you talk to Owen and you hit the Bazaar option, he will destroy reality around you and force you back into the title. That's because Owen's an asshole and NPCs don't want to work. Owen is such an asshole, in fact, that he will actively possess other NPCs that you can talk to make them crash the game for you. Not even the quest boards are safe, as Owen will somehow manage to possess inanimate objects as well. Owen's other favorite pastime is to lurk the halls of the... Since this is an online game, it is constantly saving, which means anytime you log out, you have already saved before you log back out. NPCs you can trust are ones that do not have icons on the map, like Freddy right here. Unfortunately, none of their dialogue is translated, so unless you know Japanese, which I do, only one thing you cannot do with this NPC, which I will elaborate to when we get there.
So, it looks like I'm going to have to read through, I'll have to watch some more of that video to see how to, like, actually do stuff in this game. This is a private server. It obviously has a lot of issues, so... But I know a lot of people are playing it, are doing it. And if you go to Discord, you can join the Worm Hunt here, Discord, which tells you how to set up Dragon's Dogma Online. And then there's help. There's also general. You can probably ask questions on how to play the game. I don't know if I'm going to spend much time in this. Probably not, but it's just something that's I thought was fun to just show that, there is a Dragon's Dogma private server. If you want to, if you want to play, so that's kind of cool. Dragon's Dogma Online, I should say. Well, so I know that Cargo's removed Calamity as a mod, and I know why he did it, because I spoke to somebody who actually knows. So that happened weeks ago. So right, so what happened was Calamity got together and did like a hardcore elite. Looks like the Dogma client's crashing, which is fine. So, they Calamity, I guess apparently they organized like a Blackwing Lair run or some, raid run without talking to Cargos about it, and then they just did it. It was kind of like a last minute thing. So a bunch of people in the hardcore elite guild got together and did, I think it was BWL or some raid, and they did like a full clear. And Cargos wasn't notified, and I think Cargos, this is what I heard. And Cargos was like, you can't do that kind of stuff. He's like, if you're going to be doing like huge events, like, and it was a world first. It was basically like a world first hardcore clear of a specific raid. I think it was BWL. I can't remember. I think it was BWL. But they did it without really even talking to Cargos. And Cargos like, you can't really do that. He's like, I started this stuff, and we when we do big world first events, I think he wanted to schedule it and have more information around it so people could watch it and it could be more of a community thing, and instead of just doing it like impromptu last minute. And people think that the reason that Calamity did that, or the reason that they did that, was to try to beat like some European guild that was trying to do it, or something. Try to beat like a European guild to the punch and be the first guild to do it, or be the first person in hardcore to do it. And so that's what I heard, and that's what pissed Cargos off, and then that's why she was removed as a modifier. That's what I heard. But I also heard that that there's a lot of fighting and bickering between a lot of the between Cargos and Calamity and a few other people, and that it was all just just childlike immature bullshit. You know what I mean? Stuff that was just stupid. People making mountains out of out of molehills. And but as far as accused of stealing prize money, that's that I haven't heard anything about that. I haven't heard anything about that, but I do think that I've always said that I felt like the hardcore elite community was kind of like the cool kids club. It was kind of like like all the people that are. I mean, and I like Cargos as a person. I think he's a good guy, but I think he's a little naive, in certain aspects. And it's hard. I mean, I think it's difficult to do what he did and what they've done with the hardcore stuff. I mean, to do what they've done is really impressive. The websites, the assets, the streaming, the competitions, the money, all that stuff. I mean, it's really impressive, all the stuff that they've done and how they've fostered the hardcore community and got it to be really popular, But I feel like it's slipping, I feel like it is slipping a little bit. And there's always that taint of Blizzard, you know what I mean? Like, you're doing hardcore on World of Warcraft official servers, and I always feel like there's this taint of Blizzard, that that because of just the crap that Blizzard's done, because the crap that the way Blizzard runs their servers now, with no regard really for the players anymore, that anything that's to me that's associated with official Blizzard servers just feels dirty. But I do think that doing hardcore on Classic WoW hardcore is way more challenging than doing Turtle WoW hardcore. Like, I mean, Turtle WoW hardcore, I saw a hardcore player trade with a non-hardcore player, and I didn't even know you could do that. Like, it's so easy to level up hardcore on Turtle WoW because you can easily get really good gear, because you can trade with anybody. And it looks like you can trade with anybody. Like, I saw somebody trade with another player who wasn't a hardcore player, and I didn't think that was possible. So that's weird. So if that's the case, you can trade with anybody as long as they're within, I think, 5 levels of you. Maybe not. Maybe they've removed that cap. I don't know, but yeah. But the Turtle WoW leveling is, and with the tents and everything, it's so much easier. It's not really that challenging in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. Yeah. Yeah, so there is the plus level. Yeah. I mean, I know that it's supposed to be there, but as also I was in a party. Yeah, there's still there's the plus, there's like a 5 level range. But I mean, to me it's like I don't know. Like, I think the way Turtle WoW does it is pretty cool. I mean, I think it's a lot more community based. It's you can group more often, and you can do dungeons as many times as you want. Whereas in Classic WoW hardcore, you can only do each dungeon once. Whereas in Turtle WoW, you can just do them as much as you want. So it's it's much more of a community feel to it. And I think the community in Turtle WoW is in my opinion better than the community in Classic WoW now. Uh, yeah, yeah. I'm getting. I think on Turtle WoW you don't need to do hardcore. Like in Classic WoW, I do hardcore because I don't want to deal with all the gold selling, gold buying, and the bots and all that GDKP bullshit. Like, it kind of silos me away from all that crap. But in Turtle WoW, we don't need to really worry about that. I don't think, as far as I know, there's no really gold selling, gold buying, and GDKP bullshit in Turtle WoW. So you could just play regular mode. Yeah. But I mean, my priest is she's like almost level 30, and I'm barely playing her. I'm putting very little effort into the priest, and she's already level 30. So it's very easy to level, in Turtle WoW. But yeah, I'm just so burned out on World of Warcraft. I mean, I'm not. I love WoW, and I've always loved WoW as a game, but I'm just really looking forward to playing something different. I say it all the time, but it's true. Zolson, I'm really just chomping at the bit to really put time into a new game, you know. And the earliest one we're going to get probably is Throne and Liberty. Yeah, I'm just burned out on. We just don't have anything, you know. Yeah, we don't have really any other good MMOs. But the good news is we have tons that are coming. We've got MMOs that are coming that look good. I mean, Ashes of Creation looks pretty solid. It's got tons of interesting systems. You've got Chrono Odyssey, which looks really pretty interesting. You know, if you've seen this, Zalson. In the Chrono Odyssey trailer, and I thought when I first saw this was a single-player game, but this is actually another Unreal Engine 5 game that's supposed to be an MMO. So this is going to be another MMO. We've got PAX Day, which to me looks really good. I'm really intrigued with PAX Day. Oh no, this is another MMO that's in development. They did this trailer like a week ago. Yeah, I know. They're all way too far ahead. This one just has like a Dark Souls feel to it. I don't know how that person's arm got chopped off though. No, I think as far as I understand it, I don't know if it's open world or not. It should be. I haven't. There's not much information about it. But you're right. Now that you say that, it almost looks instance-based, doesn't it? Now that you say that, and I look at the environments in these fighting scenes, now you can see here's a group. There's a group of people fighting this monster. But you're right, it doesn't look open. But this looks open. This looks open world here. Because I see some stuff in the background. I see some structures. And this looks pretty open world, Zalson. Look at this scene here. Now this part here is just badass. So the game's called Chrono Odyssey, so obviously chronometer, time, right? This part here is just sick. It's like she actually froze time. It's like she froze time and then executed maneuvers to kill her enemies while they were frozen. I thought that was just badass. Okay, well this looks very open world. And that looks very open world there, Zulson. I mean, you can see there's a lot of stuff going on. I don't know. Yeah, you should have. Yeah, I don't know, but this is another MMO. So we've got Chrono Odyssey, we've got the League of Legends MMO, we've got Ashes of Creation, we've got PAX Day, we've got the Horizon Zero Dawn themed MMO, right? And then we've got Bethesda's doing at least one more MMO, and so there's a lot of MMOs coming. We got Throne of Liberty, but Throne of Liberty is a weird MMO with weird like auto combat. You can actually set up your character to kind of actually fight on their own, sort of. It's almost like you can put your. It's almost like the game's got built-in farming modes where you can like set your character up to do kind of moderate farming. From what I hear, if you don't monitor it or if you put your character in a difficult area, they'll just die. So like when you're farming, you'll be farming mobs that are like a lot lower level than you. Um, I don't know. It's very odd. I can see how it would be good if like you're like, oh, I'm level 30 and I can't play today. I got to go to work. But if I can farm these level 20 mobs for some cloth or something, I can stick my character in a certain area and say, okay, go ahead and just kill these mobs in a circle or something. I mean, it's very odd. And the reason it could be really bad is imagine if you're a player who I mean, it'll easily turn into like what Lineage 2 is. If you guys ever played Lineage 2 recently, when you walk into Lineage 2 zones, you'll see because it has autoplay, it has auto combat. I've gone into zones in Lineage 2 where I will see 20, 30 people in an area, and there's not a single one of those characters are being played by a real person. They're all just running like autoplay. So you have like 20 people just killing mobs over and over and over again, but there's no actual human controlling them. And that's what I feel like Chrono Odyssey could turn into that, where you just have, not Chrono Odyssey, sorry, Throne of Liberty, where you just have like zones with a bunch of people that are not being controlled by anybody and they're just on auto combat. That's just dumb, So I'm not really a fan of that at all. But we'll play Throne of Liberty anyway, just because it's a new MMO and we don't really have a lot of things to choose. But I don't know, man. Maybe, hey, you know what, Zalsa? Maybe I'll go back and play a little bit of this MMO. Where is it? I should still be in the Discord. This one. Maybe I'll go back and play some Ascension Conquest. What is it called? This one. The Conquest of Azeroth, which is the new classes. I haven't looked at that, just to do something with WoW, but totally different, right?
So, Project Ascension has finally updated Conquest of Azeroth after almost a year. In this video, we're going to see what changes have been made and what they are going to mean for the future of COA. Let's jump right into it. The overhaul to each and every single one of the 21 custom classes. In the past, you wouldn't really have any direction whatsoever when it came to your class. Though you had specific talent trees, you were still overloaded with abilities to utilize and implement into your rotation. Now, at level 10, you were provided one of 3 options for a specialization, with specified abilities to utilize more than others. These specified abilities are called core kits. Choosing a specialization is going to now unlock unique passive abilities, allowing each spec to feel unique and tailored to the role it performs. This change is going to drastically flatten the learning curve for new players coming to COA, as well as making the player experience more individual. This change also makes it so that it is easier to tank and heal, as you will now have more abilities specifically meant for your role. These abilities usually being a part of your core kit. It is important to note that you are required to talent into your chosen specialization tree, but you can spec into other talents once your chosen talent tree is filled. Furthermore, on top of updating the talent trees, they've also updated many classes to have entirely new abilities. With all these new changes, I couldn't recommend getting on COA any sooner, especially considering the Prestige bonus event taking place right now, celebrating the update. But, with the contents of the update disclosed, allow for me to get into the gameplay I recorded with Mr. Nerdbert, a fellow Project Ascension content creator, where we explored the new update and got a real feel for what was happening. Make sure to go give him a subscription, and I will see you boys at the end of the video for a proper review. Peace. Oh, that entire fucking time I wasn't recording. Oh my god, this game wants me to kill myself.
Yeah, I don't remember how to play Conquest of Azeroth. I don't know if like it's just a different server. But yeah, I might try a little bit of Conquest of Azeroth tonight, Zolson, just for something different, because it should be quite a bit different, you know. But anyways, I do have to. Let's see. No. It says it's already there. It says it's already installed there. Let's find out. Oh no, it's just it's been uninstalled. There's just some leftover remnants. Oh my God, log in. All right, well, I'm gonna stop. Yeah, I might try the. Yeah, hold on a second. I gotta get my login. I don't remember what it is. Hold on a second. All right. I've always loved their launcher. Their launchers are really cool looking. They did a great job with their launcher. I want to install to this location? Why would it install to the same location as the launcher? Oh. Maybe download instead of a turtle. You plan on playing on the dress, is it? No, I'm not gonna play on either of those servers. I'm gonna play on the Conquest server, which is completely different, Zolson. It's the new custom classes. You know what I mean? Here, do we want the classic or do we want the modern? I don't know. Oh, let's try the modern then. I did pay for it initially, yeah. Yeah, there might be like a one-time fee. Because yeah, I'm not gonna do the regular server. I'm sorry, Zolson, I'm not gonna do the regular. I got burned out on the regular Ascension servers because they're like the free pick, because you just end up building these characters that are incredibly overpowered, and the content is just kind of, I don't know. It just wasn't really that appealing to me anymore. I like the Conquest of Azeroth because it's custom classes. It's completely different classes with even completely different abilities. So it's almost like you're playing a different game. And let's be honest, that's what we're all looking for. We're all looking for something new, you know? I'm pretty sure I'm already in the Discord.
I can just send you this.
Oh my God! Thank you, Jesus Christ. You have to send me everything now because I have nothing.
Hey, since you know I'm doing that benefit for you, can you give me?
Anyways, I had to get in the shower. Oh shit, it's already 10 o'clock. I gotta get in the shower. I gotta go do the in-law thing. The in-law thing. So, I don't know what you guys are doing today. Zalson? Yeah, I don't know, Zalson. We just need a new game, Zalson. We need a new game. If something comes out like Throne and Liberty, would you pay to play it, Zalson? Would you like pay to play like a new MMO? They cost you like, I don't know, what, like 30 or 40 bucks? I don't know why I ever uninstall this stuff, you know? Like, I uninstalled Ascension thinking I'll never play Ascension again. That's the same thing I do with, like, I've uninstalled ESO so many times because I'm like, I'm never going to play Elder Scrolls Online again. But of course, then you get bored of these MMOs and you're like, what can you play that might be fun? You know, and you're like, oh, let me go try Elder Scrolls Online again. So then you got to reinstall it. I mean, how many times have I uninstalled this shit? You know? I've uninstalled ESO on Steam probably like 8 times, you know? And I always end up putting it back on, you know? Here's the COA update was in, it looks like November of last year. So yeah, but if you look at the classes, I was hoping I could get to the point where we could actually see the classes. How do I close this? Click anywhere to dismiss. Why is it still downloading? Oh, it's verifying and updating. All right, well, I'm gonna go, guys, because I have got to get in the shower, so I apologize. But I'll stream later today, and we'll probably do some Conquest of Azeroth just for fun. And there's a class in Conquest of Azeroth called the Sun Cleric, which I played when before they before they did this massive update. So who knows if it's any good now? But I really enjoyed the Sun Cleric.
And that's pretty much it. You can see I got 10 solar powers now. If I use my spell, I'm using my spell, I get a buff, and my spells are better. This becomes instant spell.
Anyways, everybody in the stream's gone dead silent. They're just like, screw this guy. Anyways, I hope you guys are having a great day. I've got to get in the shower, like I said. I'm having some medical issues, like I am personally, so it's one of the reasons why I haven't been online as much lately. I've got some stomach issues. I don't know what's going on. I'm probably going to be going in for an ultrasound this week. Hoping it's nothing major, but I've had a lot of stomach pain where basically I haven't even had a soda in like 3 days. And for me to not drink soda is like, it's pretty crazy. I've been drinking water for 3 days. And whenever I eat anything, and I mean anything, I have like stomach pain. So anyways, so yeah, so I'll be going to the doctor, hopefully getting an ultrasound this week. See what's going on with my stomach. But yeah, it'll be really cool when we get a new MMO, like something that we can really sink our teeth into. You know, that we can really just discard all this, like, I mean, WoW to me is I'm kind of over World of Warcraft. I love World of Warcraft, but I'm at the point where I'm so ready to just move on and go play something else. I played WoW since 2004. That's a long ass fucking time to play one MMO. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to trying to get into something new. I'm sure I'll always play World of Warcraft, but I'm really chomping at the bit to play something new that we can all kind of like learn the game together and explore the game together and figure out how to do things in the game. But if you guys haven't checked out the Ashes of Creation new content, I definitely would recommend go to the Ashes of Creation channel, because there's they're doing a lot of updates. They're updating pretty frequently, and definitely if you're go to the Ashes of Creation channel here, and you can see there there's a video from 2 weeks ago. Multiple is the Alpha 2 preview development update with the Mage archetype. So they're doing like about 2 updates a month, and they're significant updates. They're not like minor stuff. They're like significant updates. So anyways, I'm just wasting time because I don't want to get in the shower. Plus, I was kind of hoping that this would get to the point where I could launch it, but it's still apparently verifying. So anyways, I'll catch you guys later. Peace out. Hope everybody has a good day. I'll probably be streaming later today. Peace out.